The night was silent, but inside the household of Mr. Daniel, whispers of jealousy were already growing like hidden fire. No one outside the compound could have guessed that what looked like a peaceful family was slowly turning into a battlefield of envy, lies, and manipulation. This is the story of a man who thought love was enough, and two women who proved him wrong. Daniel was a hard-working man in his late 30s. He was tall, fair-skinned, and known in his community for being kind-hearted. He was not rich, but he was comfortable. He worked as a civil servant in the city and also had a small farm in the village where he grew cassava and maize. Above all, Daniel valued peace more than anything in his life. He always said, "A home without peace is like a house without a roof. No one can rest inside." His first wife, Anna, was a calm and humble woman. She was not only beautiful, but also respectful, supportive, and industrious. Anna had been with Daniel since the early days of his struggles. She helped him build the little they had. She woke up early to cook his meals, took care of their children, and managed the home with patience. Everyone in the community praised her, and they often said, "Daniel is blessed to have such a woman by his side." For a long time, their marriage was peaceful. They had 3 children, Michael, Sarah, and little David. The children were bright and cheerful, and the family was admired by neighbors. But everything changed when Daniel decided to take a second wife. It all began when Daniel traveled to the city for a work seminar. There, he met a young woman named Clara. Clara was beautiful in an unusual way. She had fair skin, long flowing hair, and sharp eyes that seemed to see through people. She spoke sweetly, and her laughter could charm even the hardest heart. But behind her beauty and charm lay a spirit of pride and envy. Clara was the type of woman who always wanted to be at the center of attention. Daniel did not plan to fall in love with Clara. At first, he only saw her as a friend. But Clara was clever. She listened to his stories, praised his achievements, and pretended to admire his simple lifestyle. Whenever he complained about the stress of work or the burden of responsibilities, Clara would say, "A strong man like you deserves more comfort. You deserve a woman who understands you and can give you joy." These words sank into Daniel's heart. Slowly, he began to visit Clara more often. She cooked for him, entertained him, and always made him feel like a king. Within months, Daniel found himself trapped in her web of charm. Against the advice of his family and friends, Daniel married Clara as his second wife. At first, Anna accepted the decision with silence. She was hurt, but she believed in patience. She thought, "If I continue to do good, God will fight for me." She welcomed Clara into the house with respect, though her heart was heavy. But Clara, from the very first day, saw Anna not as a co-wife, but as an enemy. Clara moved into the house with pride. She decorated her room with new curtains, new furniture, and expensive perfumes. She dressed elegantly every day and walked around the compound as if she owned it. She barely greeted Anna and often ignored her presence. When visitors came, Clara would step forward quickly, introducing herself as the wife of the house, leaving Anna in the shadows. At night, Clara began her evil plans. She whispered into Daniel's ears, filling his mind with lies. "Anna doesn't really love you," she said. "She only pretends. Look at how she always frowns when I'm around. She is jealous of me. You should be careful with her." Daniel, who once trusted Anna with his whole heart, began to doubt her. When Anna served him food, he would look at it suspiciously. When Anna spoke, he sometimes dismissed her words. Clara smiled secretly each time she saw the gap widening between husband and first wife. The children, who loved their mother dearly, also noticed the change. Michael, the eldest, often asked, "Mama, why does Papa not talk to you the way he used to?" Anna would force a smile and reply, "It's nothing, my son. Everything will be fine." But things only got worse. Clara began to mistreat the children. She would send them on endless errands, shout at them, and sometimes even deny them food. When Anna tried to defend her children, Clara would run to Daniel crying, "Your wife insulted me again. She doesn't respect me in this house." Daniel, blinded by Clara's sweet tongue, often scolded Anna instead. The once peaceful home had become full of quarrels and tension. Anna cried many nights, praying for peace to return. But Clara was not done. She wanted more. She wanted to push Anna completely out of the marriage. One evening, Clara prepared Daniel's favorite meal, pounded yam with a goosey soup. She dressed in a beautiful red gown and welcomed him with a bright smile when he returned from work. As he ate, Clara began her next plan. "Daniel," she said softly, "don't you think it's time to focus on the future? You work so hard, but your money is being wasted. Look at Anna. What does she even contribute? She just sits at home, cooking and cleaning. Is that enough for a man like you? You need a wife who can help you grow, a wife who can manage your finances and build your name." These words poisoned Daniel's mind further. He began to give Clara more control of his money, his time, and even his decisions. Anna was pushed aside, treated like a stranger in her own home. But evil does not last forever. Slowly, Clara's true colors began to show. She was careless with money, spending it on jewelry, clothes, and parties. She looked down on neighbors, insulted elders, and bragged about being the real wife. Rumors spread in the community, and people began to see that Anna was the true virtuous woman. One day, Daniel fell sick. It was a strange sickness that left him weak and pale. Clara, instead of caring for him, complained. "Why should I waste my time nursing a man who has done nothing for me? I am too young to be a nurse." She would leave him alone for hours, going out to enjoy herself. But Anna, despite all the pain she had suffered, stayed by Daniel's side. She cooked special meals for him, prayed for him, and comforted him. The children also gathered around their father, showing him love and care. It was during the sickness that Daniel began to see the truth. He saw how Clara ignored him and how Anna, the wife he had neglected, remained faithful. One night, as Anna fed him soup with her own hands, tears rolled down his cheeks. "Anna," he whispered, "I am sorry. I allowed lies to blind me. You are the true wife of my heart." From that moment, Daniel's eyes were opened. He confronted Clara about her behavior, but instead of repenting, she became furious. She packed her belongings and left the house in anger, saying, "You will regret choosing her over me." But Daniel did not regret it. Slowly, he recovered from his sickness, and with Anna by his side, peace returned to the home. Clara's name faded from their lives, but the memory of her evil ways remained as a lesson. And so, Daniel learned that beauty without character is like a flower without fragrance. It pleases the eyes, but gives no joy to the heart. He promised never again to allow lies and jealousy to destroy the peace of his home. The community, too, learned from the story. They praised Anna for her patience and faithfulness, and whenever people spoke about the matter, they said, "Beware of the evil co-wife. For envy is a fire that can burn down even the strongest family." Why don't you share your thoughts on the story in the comment section? The end. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.